Out of character? Out of character. If we're getting invited into a place that is the center of the Elanisi Forest, that is the home of the elves, I wouldn't mind. But
Yeah. It's guaranteed protection. The idea up here was to forge some sort of alliance, and this is the best way to do it.
Um, and also discussion out of character. This would also be a good time to try to get an alliance with such a place.
Or at least explain to them the entire direness of the situation, get some resources, plus some walls for these folks to hide behind.
yeah. I also would like to point out of character, that even though Lady Celine is unconscious, she is still our meal ticket.
Yes.
I'm glad that we saved
who
her.
needs that writ when we have just the body?
We could just flail her unconscious body around.
You might as well just like hoist her up on hoist her up on a pole somewhere and just be like,
Yeah. When you gave away the writ to Sky, I, as a player, was thought to consider the ramifications of that. Like, it might be harder to talk to these people. I did not consider at all the possibility of just showing, like, the shrine, the edifice we have built, on which the Sleeping Beauty rests undisturbed. Didn't even consider that. The first time you did the halfling, I was like, fuck, that's a great idea!
I'm with you, and especially since she's like damaged, obviously if someone hurt Lady Celine, it's bad, so...
But, okay,
Yeah.
I know I love the idea of Sleeping Beautying this and just showing her the body. I say we go all weekend at Bernie's at this shit.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Have co-sound mimic her voice as we just mimic raise her arms and legs.
Oh my gosh.
I hate you guys.
Jared could totally mage hand and throw voice.
Work on this, Garrick. You have a project. You have a
Doing that.
Come on!
It's tantamount to character suicide. You're fucking nuts.
Oh my god.
Lisa is gonna wake up and it's just like, oh, thank you for saving us. You're like, you have no idea how many people we showed you unconscious. You have no idea.
Oh man. And to help your choice, he will say, you are not prisoners, but if I need to go to the Queen, and if you are to enter my land, you will be under my guidance and observation. Thus, the only two choices are to come with me to the Sunset Tower, or to find another land.
Well, we don't have much of a choice then. I say lead the way.
He nods and says, fear not. My guards will protect you as best we can. And then he looks to the dragon and says, will it be coming?
Yes.
And with that, Kim stands up and says, I am not an it. I am... And then he says his whole name again. And the leader goes, right. I am sorry. I meant no offense. We have not seen one of your kind in a long time. Of course, if you all would. And he points towards the forest.
Akalmor will rejoin his family and move along with the group.
Jarek will slowly ride on the horse. Will say over to Keen, you better explain the situation to them. We're not being taken prisoner.
I'm just thinking of how I need to explain the situation to Sky when she gets here.
Oh, no.
Oh, hey, guess what? We found a dragon. Woohoo!
We should probably make sure that we can mark down something to at least guide the works.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like, unless she's an amazing tracker that can just, see the wake of the 200 plus people moving in from fields, how she's going to find the one particular instance in the entire outskirts of this forest that says, we went this way.
Listen, if it's clear that these elves patrol the fuck out of the borders here, right? If we make nice with the queen or the king or the royalty of this area, I'm sure she can pass on a message to these sentinels that, hey, if you see a winged woman with troops, send them this way. Hey, if you see a group of armed orcs, don't attack them. Send them this way.
Oh, the patrol leader will do you one
Yeah.
better on that one. Now that you've told them to expect them, they will find them. Now,
Well, then
what
there
they'll
we
do
go.
when they get there might determine on how buddy-buddy
Well,
you get. But
yeah.
there will be elves waiting for them at the border.
Yeah.
So,
Let me rewind to emphasize one point. Make nice with the elven nobility. Is that what you said, Inferno?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Well, listen, I can make nice but not like it. I have demonstrated that.
Nope.
All right. Well,
Looks
while
like
we are
you're
doing
the
this,
heavy lifting.
Pretty.
I need to go AFK for like 5 minutes. I will be right back.
All right.
Okay. We'll
Mhm.
say that Burnerator is explaining the situation to the people. Don't worry, we are traveling to.
I think you're trying to be a puppet master here. You should totally talk for us. This is what you should
Look, I am
say.
the game master. I use the wish from my stone to supplant and overthrow Cellar, and I am the new game master.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like you used the wish to take over my spot, and I'm like, I'm surprised I let this happen, but I guess I did. I don't know.
I made the rules.
I mean,
I was too busy eating ice cream. Shit.
Anywho.
Fuck, could he do that? Yeah, it says it right here on the rules.
Let me see your character
Oh,
sheet.
yeah.
No, it says so. I guess I don't. So,
Did you take? Oh, I taste good to dragons, and
so let me describe while Keen is explaining what's going on to everyone. Everyone gets moving again. The patrol leader seeks more information from Cole. Pearson, you've gone to your family. The patrol leader basically is asking for details. Cole, I assume, unless you don't mind, you can fill him in on the more detailed information while you move.
Depends on what details, absolutely.
What transpired? Let me put it this way: is there anything you'd like to leave out as to what transpired at White Ridge?
Leave out us being the cause of this. Leave that out.
That one.
Trust me.
I would say a great travesty that I would probably start with the portals opened.
We don't know
And-
how. It just happened.
The portals
Look,
come in, the portals go
demons
out.
going through.
You can explain
Yeah.
that.
Can't explain that.
suddenly surprise demons. Like,
Portals
Hey,
open.
I-
Demons come out. Can't explain it.
Look, it's one of those things where just like, would you really like aliens are invading? Would the other person be like, "Did you do it?" And you're like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, demons are invading.
Okay, so
that's
other
where I'm
than
gonna start.
the cause, is there anything you'd rather leave out? He's
Mm.
going to ask basically what took place, the final battle to push out of the city, all that stuff.
I will try to tell them any tactical things about the demons. I will tell them how dire the situation is. I'll tell them our particular journey, and if that's all the information that they need, that's fine.
They'd have specific interest, or he would, on what happened to Lady Celine, commenting that she was one of the most powerful wizards he's ever met, and what could possibly do that to her, and that kind of thing.
Good lord.
Yeah. She's fucking great.
Oh, Pearson.
get off your knees, you fucking mouth.
You know, Pearson, you're pretty okay, too. You don't
And
have
with
to...
that question, literally, he's just going to be like a large demon.
Aha. Okay.
He has a whip. Or he had a whip. He's dead now.
Is this demon alive still?
Oh, very dead. Broke his head off.
Oh. Well, that would do it. You broke his head off.
Well, Lady Celine did most of the work. I just made it look pretty.
And with that, he kind of laughs and says that would have been a sight to see. And then he starts talking to you about the Alanissi Forest, asking you questions that only elves would know, and you answer them correctly unless you choose not to.
I would definitely answer pretty much anything to do with any plants, animals, or landmarks, besides anything to do with gnomes.
All right, and then the more you talk, the more he becomes convinced, and the more he starts to talk to you with, not as a friend, but as someone he's always wanted to meet. And he tells you about the myth of the orc in the trees and how many people were not even sure that you existed, but only someone who grew up here could know all these things. And then after a while, He's talking to you, and then after a while he brings up, he says, "So, do you mind if I ask you a question?"
You've been asking plenty. Go for it.
There is always one story about the Orc of the Woods, where the Orc of the Woods was said to have angered and taken on, well, I'm not sure what you would call him in the common tongue, but the king of the... I'm sorry, what's the word? And then he says a word in Elvish, and you know the word. And he says, that one, did that actually happen?
If it's the one that I'm thinking of, he will go, well, I don't know exactly what happened in the story, but I have met his acquaintance.
And with that, his eyes grow wide and says, and you live?
Well, I almost didn't. He was not very happy with me. And I'll leave it at that.
And he nods, not wanting to press any further. So, you guys continue talking. Pearson, when you get to your family, excuse me again, you are surrounded by your daughters with, is that a real dragon? Is that a dragon?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
What's
Very
its
much so.
name?
His name is Kip.
Can we keep him?
He is not a pet.
Can I meet him?
We'll see.
Do you think he'll let me ride him?
No, he won't let you ride him. Dragons are... Okay,
And I was going to say, and
going.
Darlene starts walking past you towards the dragon.
Who the hell's Darlene?
I'm sorry, not Darlene. Danielle.
Sure, Darlene can go. I don't give a shit about that kid.
Danielle.
Fuck Darlene
I'm sorry.
is.
Danielle gets so excited she starts just walking past you.
No, Danielle, come here. Darlene.
And you pick her up and like her feet are still like wanting to walk towards the
No.
dragon. So,
No, I'll have to sit them down. I'll just have to seriously sit them down with Carla and explain that dragons are dangerous animals. They're not pets, no matter how small or big they might be. It's best to treat them like any other stranger. Okay? Fair
and
enough.
they nod, and they look a little disappointed, but they obviously their dad's got the serious face on, so.
Damn straight he has a serious face on.
So
Our home
they,
is fucked.
They nod, and then I'm sorry, I forgot your older daughter's name. We've talked so much about Danielle.
No, actually, yeah, Samantha.
Samantha, thank you. Then Samantha says, "Where's Big Sis?"
Oh shit. Big.
And then Carla mouths Sky to you.
Yeah, no, I know. Sorry, I guess you can't see me. Me physically, whose the hand is resting on his forehead. Sky has gone. See, Cullimore has never. He doesn't really deceive his kids either. He is very much a straightforward. Of course, he's a little bit more diplomatic towards children, especially his kids. But he's not going to just tell them lies to make them feel better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think in this case, Cullimore would just treat it as a simple, sweet explanation. Sky has gone to find some more help. She'll be back to join us soon enough, I hope.
And with that, Danielle says, "You seemed angry at her. Did she do something wrong? Is she in trouble?"
Yes, honey, she's in a lot of trouble. She tried to hurt us. She tried to hurt you. Maybe it wasn't entirely her fault. Maybe some bad people made her to do it, but right now, Dad is very, very upset at her still. That's all.
With that, they get a little sad. And Danielle says, "But she's not bad. When I was in the air and we fell, it was really, really scary, but she protected me. She
What do you
protected it. Yes, like a little kid would say.
What do you mean she protected you?
I was gonna fall, and she made it so that she fell and I didn't. She held me and she hit the ground and I would have been hurt and I wasn't. She's a good person, Daddy.
Maybe. Maybe, Danielle, but sometimes very powerful, very bad people can force good people to do things they don't want to do.
They look confused, but Carla puts her arms around their shoulders and says, you know, daughters, you know your father loves you very much. And they go, yeah, yeah. Well, trust in your father. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Trust in both of us. We'll keep you safe. But don't go playing around the dragon just because he doesn't know you, right?
Aw, Dad.
Don't aw, Dad, me. It's a Never mind, I'm not going to explain this to you. Just do what I say.
Okay. So,
Oh, God. Well, it's good to see they're in good spirits, though, despite everything that happened. I was a little worried about that. How's Carla hanging out?
Carla would actually speak to you alone, not in front of the kids. That the kids would be, playing among themselves, and she would tell you she's barely holding it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything I can do to help her out?
She would say,
I shouldn't laugh at that. Oh,
"Oh,
barely keeping it
Oh,
together
you-
because he lost their home. Oh, anything I can do to help? Sorry, I mean, is there anything he can do to help?
She shakes her head and she says, "You're doing everything you can. Just this is hard to accept."
Yeah, we've been on the move so much and so much has happened. I suppose my mind is at ease that I know that you are all safe, but you're right. We kind of lost our lives back there, didn't we?
She nods, and then she says, "It's all right. We can start again."
Damn straight. We'd had to do so when the Stonebridge Kings came after us. It's just like it's a bigger, nastier gang. That's all.
She nods and she says, "Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. You just keep doing what you do."
All right. Well, we'll do it together. We're partners in this, right?
She nods.
Okay.
And is there anything else you want to talk with your family about?
No, nothing. I can't think of anything really pressing. I think
Okay.
that was a really nice moment, so I'm good.
All right. Keen,
Yes.
what do you want to be doing while you guys are traveling through the forest? And by the way, what you're seeing now is a lot of what the forest looks like. It's very beautiful. Clear springs, trees, flowers everywhere. It's for those of you who haven't been there before, it is by far one of the most wondrous sights you've ever seen. This picture doesn't do it justice. It was just the closest I could find. But it is an absolutely stunning forest.
This is freaking awesome. This is pretty 10 out of 10 picture. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm saying this is pretty awesome.
Well, this
I'm
doesn't
not-
do it justice.
I know. And I know it doesn't do it justice, Squid. I don't know what I would be doing.
You'll notice
I mean-
that Kip is following very closely to you.
Oh. Okay. Hi there.
He nods at you. Hi.
So,
So,
this priestess that I know, how is she doing?
I'm sorry. I assume you mean our friends. I priestess must be a word I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Mother said her name was
Olivia.
Olivia Noel, something like that. Olivia. I don't know her personally. I'm sorry. I don't even know that she was a how do you say, a priestess? I only know that Mother said she was important to us and that you were important to her and that you would help.
Okay. As far as you know, she is still alive.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know her. All I know is what my mother told me, and I mean, yeah. I know several dragons. I know several of our friends, human friends that help, but I've never met Olivia, and there's so many that maybe I have and I wouldn't know her.
Okay.
But can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
Why you? Why was I sent to find you?
Because she was my fiancée. Remember that ring that I was showing you before?
His face kind of scrunches up. A what?
She was my mate.
Oh. What? Why were you so far away then?
I was trying to find her, and I didn't know where she had gone. One night, or one morning, I woke up and she was nowhere to be seen. And she left a note.
Did you mess up somehow? Sometimes when I mess up, Mom would ground me.
No.
Okay. You're talking over his head right now.
Yeah, I'm talking over his head. And I think that would basically be the end of that conversation.
Mm-hmm. And then Kip would probably just spend time talking about what it was like growing up on the Isles, and how one day he's going to be one of the strongest warrior dragons, and he's going to be able to use acid breath farther, stronger, and better than any of the other black dragons.
Cool.
And then he keeps looking around and goes, why does everyone keep staring at me like this?
It's very odd to see one of your kind. We haven't seen one of your kind in a very long time, at least over here.
And he says, well, I think you elves are odd, but I don't stare.
I'm not an elf. I'm a human.
He just looks at you blankly.
Okay.
I would totally like to be a part of this conversation.
By all means, yeah. You're all pretty much within earshot. Like, you would hear Pearson's kids. You might not be able to hear everything they're saying, but you would know Pearson's having
Okay.
a fun time. So you're all fairly close.
Kelmar's not going to engage with the dragon. That'll encourage his kids too much.
Don't worry about their eyes. They will learn more by looking at you than trying to look away. And it's hard. I can tell which one is a human, which one's an elf. It's very hard to tell genders. It's easier just to assume if you see an elf, it's female.
He starts looking around. I thought you were all female.
Oh my god.
He just starts blinking in
Keen's just
surprise.
retarded.
He's just gonna hold his head in his goddamn hands right now, and he's just going to move his hand across his forehead like he has a headache.
He looks a little indignant and says, well, in my defense, the only of your kind I've ever seen were girls, so I just kind of assumed that you were all girls.
Inside
No,
Jarek's
Cole would
mind
be
right
like,
now.
oh, that makes sense.
Inside Jarek's mind now, behind the stoic face that never smiles in his head. And Keen wants us to go with this job. I will never agree to this in a million years.
Oh, man. So...
Oh no, for the people in chat, all elves are female and all dwarves are male. That's
Actually-
just easier to assume. That
Actually,
way.
for the people in chat, as far as Kip's concerned, everyone are elves and all elves are female. So
He's good in my book.
what we'll do is we'll go ahead and move on unless anyone has anything they want to do at the
I
moment.
just want to grab a quick drink of water. So
Sure. In fact, yeah, we can all just take a quick little break and then we'll move on to the Sunset Tower. It's going to be a
Okay.
few days travel, but it's going to be with the protection of the Elven patrols. It's going to be uneventful.
Oh, quick question. Am I still getting that dream even though Kip's with me?
No. No, you are not.
Okay, there you go.
The dream
All right.
stopped. Yes. So you're not.
I
gonna
would
go
love
back.
if Cole just stuck with Kip and just started like pulling people up and being like, "This is how you tell this is an elf. It's got pointy ears."
Okay. He would be more than happy to learn. Also, Cole, most of your nights by the campfires are going to be spent with rotating elves, who seem enamored by the myth. So they ask you stories and ask you this and test your knowledge, and it's almost to the point where you can't get away. There's always an elf there.
Fanboys. You have fanboys.
Cole is more than patient, though probably a bit eager more to do physical things than trivia.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break. Everyone will get a drink, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, you're back.
I already got my drink. I'm already back. Oh God, what am I doing? I'm in limbo.
I'm not going to... you guys want me to mute stuff? Or?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm good.
I'm going to grab a...
Let's talk about that stupid chat to their stupid faces.
I hate all their letters.
You guys are making me laugh way too much. I need to go get something to drink. I'll be right back.
Man. I still love that weekend at Bernie's idea. Jesus.
Damn
That's
it.
what I
I
was
can't
gonna
even
say.
get away in front of...
And if she dies, we can do Weekend in Bernie's too.
I think at weekend at Bernie's he was dead too.
Really?
Oh yeah, that was the whole concept. He wasn't just asleep. He died.
Huh.
He dead.
I guess the twist into is that he had a voodoo curse on him that each
Maybe.
time...
I got okay. No one's making this meme, so I'm making it myself. To Bill O'Reilly. Portals open, demons come out. Can't explain it. Here we go.
Yay! Oh my gosh, is anything happening in there? I'm going to check Rifty-Fell. Yes, there has been things for Rifty-Fell. Have you seen Rifty-Fell lately?
Me? Yeah, I have. I have. Rifty Fell is amazing. Link. Oh yeah, I love the Pearson sexy rock dance.
Yeah.
And that she is totally awake.
I'm back.
Oh no. No!
No? Okay, I'll leave then.
No!
Why?
Why? I can't go back.
You've got a fan club. I'm so amazed you just told them all. Hi, that's me.
I didn't say it was me. I said I lived in the Alanacy Forest.
Yeah, how many orcs live in the Atlantic Forest?
He was never trying to keep it a secret. It's
It's
one
true.
of those
No,
things
it's
where it's
true.
just like, are you the legendary dork? I'd be like, maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
Is there another workaround? They can assume all they want I'm some sort of legend or whatever.
Is kind of funny. It's like, I never tried to keep it a secret. You guys just never caught me and asked. Can't help it, you're slow.
I am back.
I am most likely going to cancel my stream tomorrow, which sucks, but
Gosh darn it, Squee.
Oh, I have
You're
it
the one
on.
you're canceling.
yeah,
Is it because of tonight?
no, not because it's tonight. No. It's not like tonight's making it worse. Tonight's letting me know that I'm not quite ready yet.
You're as bad as Firefly.
I don't know what that means.
What?
No, seriously.
I like Firefly. It's a good show.
But it did cancel.
No.
Not.
Oh wait, I need to
Fox
hashtag
No.
this.
Season 2's coming out any day now, right?
How do I edit my tweet?
I don't know why Burns is going like it's not
I
canceled.
don't think you can edit tweets. I think that's why so many superstars get into trouble.
Yeah.
Can I delete my tweet and repost it?
You can do that, but people have probably
Portal.
taken 20 screen captures of it by now. And
No, just fucking tell me how to do it so I can do this right.
I don't know. I don't know how to
There we
delete
go.
tweets.
Delete tweet. All right, delete it. I have to tag it. I have to. I don't. I.
You have to tag it with Riftyfell.
Yeah, I have to tag with Riftyfell. Hashtag. This is my first tagging ever. I hate Twitter so much. Well, I don't hate it, but
I'm getting used to it. You can make some funny. Like I'm starting to like it simply because I make tweets that amuse me.
for the longest time, I felt Twitter was just a fad, like the digital Macarena. But it's kind of here to stay, so I might as well not necessarily embrace it, but use it if it serves my purposes.
I am finding
Also,
that. I was gonna find. Yeah, it is much easier to just tweet that I'm gonna stream instead of putting up a video every time.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier. So.
Then I can just retweet it, and then more people will see it, and blah blah.
And plus, it's a very convenient way for people to send us the fan art and things like that. So yeah,
yeah, see, I
it does
kind
have
of
its
really,
advantages.
That's what got me mainly into Twitter was this Riftyfell stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hi, welcome back. Which is good because
Fucking-
we've got a scene for you, Jarek.
These people fucking are amazed at a goddamn orc that apparently swung through trees. I was like the best fucking bounty hunter in all of fucking Whitebridge. Nobody fucking wants to fucking hear my stories.
No,
God damn it, son
No
of.
one cares about that. except for one black dragon. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, woe is you. All right, are we ready? Is everyone back and ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing of note does happen while you guys are traveling to the Sunset Tower. Jarek, how are you spending your nights?
Imagine the same way I spend my days trying to meditate, think about how life has gone completely tits up, fantasize about how he could have ended this through any other possible means, and then realize that, yeah, he probably is too weak. He should have just killed everyone else he had agreed to do this job with. Because if it wasn't for Cullimore and his family, and if it wasn't for that stupid elf, the Demon Rifts would not be open, and those fairies. He's really thinking about killing the fairies. It's pretty exciting. So his days and nights when he's not laughing at how stupid the dragon is, and how there is no way in hell he will ever be talked into helping stupid dragons, he's like, I thought they were much smarter. Well, maybe it's not it. No, look at him. Grounded? What does that even mean? Like... He's just going to spend his nights, in quiet contemplation, reflection, and meditation, and fantasize about how life could have been better if he had made more assertive choices.
Well, on one particular night, when you are sitting down and meditating, it should be noted that in this group, there are, of course, people that came with you that were injured during the attack. So you do have some people that were injured and some that were injured severely and a few that don't make it. The journey, for whatever reason, they aren't able to recover from their wounds. And every few days, one of them dies. It's not many, but a few do. And generally, when they do pass away, they are put on the outskirt of the camp until the morning when they can be buried or cremated, depending on what race and what their ceremonies are, etc., etc. And on a night such as that, where a man in his late 30s finally succumbed to one of the wounds he sustained in the town, was put on the edge of the camp to be buried the next day. It was too dark to bury him now. He's a good distance from you, Jarek, about 30 feet or so. But the corpse is sitting there, and late in the night. It's difficult to tell exactly when, but the camp is... Most of the people are asleep. Only the sentries are awake. It's the darkest hour of the night, and when you're sitting there, all of a sudden you hear a voice that says, Jarek.
One of Jarek's eyes will, slowly edge open. And back of his mind is he thinking, am I going to have to kill one of these halflings?
You see the corpse that is lying away from you. Its head is turned towards you, and its eyes are milky white, and it speaks to you and says, "Your master calls you."
Jarek will ease himself out of his folding chair and, head craned, quickly stalk over to the corpse.
And, okay, as you walk towards it, the corpse will say, "The Lich King is gathering allies. The world is about to see war unlike it's ever seen before. Now is the time for his minions to return home."
Jarek will come to a stop, and he says, "I have no place there."
The corpse will laugh dryly and point to your arm and say, "You've had a place there ever since you received that arm." Whether you know it or agree with it or want it, you are his, and he wants you.
Jarek muses and says, "If he had wanted me so much, then why did he not come and claim me sooner?"
The corpse laughs again and says, "You may be his, but you are not so important as to draw his attention himself."
Jarek tilts and says, "For what purpose? The Lich King gathers allies too. Side with demons, as if they would allow anyone to share their power."
The corpse shakes his head and says, "Aziel is smart. He knows how dangerous the Lich King is and what can be gained by joining forces. It is either ally with them or watch as the world is swept away from under our feet. You too have a choice to make. Join us or die with the rest."
"I shall consider," and Jarek will raise his staff, his offer, and then he'll drive the butt of the staff down the corpse's skull.
Alright, the skull cracks, and you hear a very annoyed grunt from the corpse, and it says, "Very well. Next time, I won't be asking. Watch for me." And then the corpse, the eyes go back to the dead stare, and the corpse just lays there.
Jarek grits his teeth and looks out of the body and says, "I need to get to Coalhaven." And he will, let's see here. Well, he's got enough magic power at his disposal. This corpse is getting fucking turned into ash before he returns to his folding chair. And he resolves that any other body that has left during the night, when everyone's asleep, he will render that body into ash.
I can just imagine, like, the people come the next day. "Hey, we were supposed to bury a body. Wasn't there a body here? Someone already buried it?"
Yeah, good Samaritan Undertaker. Who knew, right?
Could have sworn there was someone here. All right, then.
Yep. Jarek's thinking about, like, yeah, Lich King's influence, middle of the Atlantic Forest. Yep, that's totally not a concern. These norms are completely fucked. Better kill these bodies before they turn into zombies and eat them all in their sleep.
Jarek suddenly cares so much for the people. He wants to get rid of the bodies before there's dysentery, or he's just such a nice guy.
Jarek will, after completely evaporating the body, he's like, well, he doesn't sleep. He doesn't really need to rest. He starts thinking of all of the other corpses that were left behind, like, the trek, and, like, gets Heinrich and goes, like...
Oh, Jesus.
He'll be back before they venture. They take forever to ready with all the stupid civilians who've never traveled before. Fucking non-combatants. They're such a burden.
Okay.
Jarek will be back.
Not all of them were buried. Some of them were cremated as according to their religions and whatnot. But sure, I would allow you. It wouldn't be too hard to find the freshly dug up earth to cremate those. I will inform you though that if certain people were to know that you did this not in accordance of that particular body's religion, they might be rather upset. So, you know.
Well, sure. Jarek's known quite a lot of that with his extensive, training in hunting down practitioners of dark magic and necromancy. He's all familiar with the bad rap necromancy gets in life, and you would pretty much handle it the same way he's handled pretty much everything. It's like, same way these corpses are being handled.
You cannot accuse him of not being thorough. That is absolutely
right.
true. So, okay,
right.
I would say, yeah, and then you get back right about the time after everyone's had breakfast and they're about to start up again, and one of the elf patrol would say, my patrol informs me of what you did. I'm not going to ask. I'm simply going to say welcome back, and please don't wander off again without letting us know. Like, he seems a little creeped out.
Jarek says,
I had figured you were keeping track of me the entire time. How long did it take for you to notice I was missing?
Oh, about...
Jarek's eyes open wide, like he's surprised by this.
And the elf says, oh, about 5 minutes. Apparently you can be quiet when you want to be.
Well, 5 minutes will all be all it takes for the Lich King to invade. I'm sure it'll be completely fine.
And Jarek will lower a placating hand from his horse.
And with that he'll say, wait, I'm sorry. Who?
You know, the Lich King.
I know the Lich King, but why would you utter such a foul name here?
You know the Lich King?
I don't...
Jarek's fucking with the guy with logic now.
He looks rather annoyed. I don't actually know him, but I know of him. Is he a threat? Is this something we have to be worried about?
The Lich King is always a threat when dead bodies lie.
He looks at that for a second, and then looks you up and down, and then says...
There's a slow crackle of amethyst lightning that appears between the fingertips, around the eyes.
And then he just kind of looks around and says, just let us know next time you want to wander off. And then he just kind of turns and walks away a little creeped out.
Jarek thinks in his back of his mind,
Fantastic, that works just as well on the Wood Elves as it does on everyone else.
He'll go about his business.
All right, so unless there's anything else you guys want to do, we can go ahead and skip to where you get to the Sunset Tower.
Yeah.
Skip to my loo, my darling.
That's not an option.
There's no skip to the Lewin going on here. Hereabouts.
You have 3 choices: red, green, or blue.
No. No. All right. Anyway.
Fuck, the tower floats above the forest?
No.
Oh
no,
my
no, no,
God.
Holy shit!
No.
Holy shit, snacks.
This is the Sunset Tower. They call it a tower, but in reality what it is, as you can see, it's a huge peak, mountain of rock. It is completely flat all around, the forest surrounding it, and there is the giant, very small but tower-like mountain with the city coming up the side of it. It looks exactly like you see here, waterfalls running from the top. It is famous throughout all of Ardenfell for being obviously majestic and beautiful, but also notoriously hard to conquer. So the fact that the High Elves were
Except
able to
if they open a gate. I mean,
yes, well, if you open a gate, it is remarkably easier. Which, by the way, I should note that the closer you guys get to the city, the more apprehensive Finn seems to be about going. She's staying pretty quiet, but you can tell she's not exactly thrilled to be coming back here. So you guys arrive at the Sunset Tower, and you arrive inside its gates, and around the foot of the mountain there are several accommodations built out of the trees themselves, or around and on the trees. And when you're allowed into the gates, the elves of the city greet you, and you have already set up a temporary resting place. And they
Okay.
say that the compliments of the queen go with them, and they lead you all to a section that they have already set up with tents and tables and rather comfortable accommodations given the time they've had to set it up. They also send their healers to help tend the wounded. And Lady Celine, they take straight up all the way to the palace, saying that the queen wanted to make sure she received the best care, and that you individuals have been invited up to the tower to speak to the queen.
Good.
Yeah, I'm hoping to follow that unconscious body to make sure that it gets to where it needs to
So we
go.
don't lose the meal ticket, right? Like,
Yeah, I need her.
We would love to follow her up.
we
I don't
care
think we have much
deeply of her,
Well-being,
of
yes.
her well-being, and so
Yes.
we seek to monitor her as she monitored us.
For we love her
Basically.
so.
Okay. Well, you guys start following the elves up the mountain trail, and as you start to go, the elf who's guiding you stops and looks at you guys, and then starts going again, and you guys keep following, and then it stops again and turns around again and says, Is the dragon gonna come with us all the way to the top?
Oh shit.
And Kip's just been following you guys.
Hey, buddy. Do you mind if you wait with everybody else back down there?
Kip looks back and then looks at you and says, "No, I said I'm coming with you until you
Oh,
help
son
me."
of a bitch. Okay.
King,
Yeah.
Keen, you might make everyone more comfortable if the follower were not to come up to the
Yeah.
royal palace so soon.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you guys
God.
later.
Yeah, a
Wait.
dismounted Jarek will nod and say,
Maybe not a good idea.
Wait,
Yeah.
And-
wait. Cullimore
on,
has
Kip.
an idea. Wait, Cullimore has an idea.
"Uh-oh, I know where this is going."
Oh, God.
All right.
Just gonna shove her ring
Cullimore
out.
needs to have a frank discussion with Keen.
Yeah.
You know this dragon, right?
Yep.
How friendly is it around kids?
Yep, I knew where that was going.
Hey, Kip.
Yes.
No, answer my question first.
I've known him as long as you have.
Okay, then maybe I should reword it. Do you think he would be fine if kids, like, say, for example, my kids were to pet it?
Hey, Kip. Would you be fine? if-
Kip has actually moved past you guys and has continued going on towards the
Kip,
castle.
goddammit.
I
Kip
thought he
turns
was-
around and says, "What?"
Were you not going to follow King?
Well, he's
thought you
going
were
to the
following me.
palace. You guys were taking too long.
In your ignorance, do you wish to be perforated by tens of thousands of arrows launched from vengeful bows that seek to protect their queen?
Kip looks at Jarek and says, "No, they wouldn't do that. You guys wouldn't do that, would you?" And the elf is like, "Oh,
It's
no, we wouldn't. It's just we haven't
We might
met
startle the queen.
many of your
We-
kind." And then he kind of thinks and he looks and he goes, "I suppose it's okay, but if you breathe even the slightest drop of acid..." And with that, Kip looks kind of sad and says, "Don't worry, that's not a problem." And that seems to appease the elf, and he starts walking up again, but you notice that there are more arrows kind of trained towards you than there
Well,
were
I
before.
guess that's resolved. I never even thought of its acid. Yeah.
So, well, yeah, he hasn't used any acid breath, so
Yeah, he
you
has.
guys wouldn't really think about it. So you guys continue your march up the castle, the odd procession that you are. And you, as you rise higher and higher and you can look out over the vista, you just see how absolutely beautiful the landscape is around you. And when you get to the very top, you go through these ivory gates, and you see a palace as splendid as the palace of Whitebridge as it is different. It seems as if it was grown out of the rock itself. It looks like every building was made out of a white ivory, wood. As if white ivory trees just grew into the shape of this palace. And it has very beautiful spires, and you walk through it and you see many elves singing and dancing and doing elvy things.
Doing LV things. That's racist.
One of them is very mute.
And they all stop to see the procession going through. By the way, Jarek, are you still on your horse?
No, Heinrich gets left behind.
Okay.
Like, he's like, come on, man. He's done a lot of noble shit, you know.
Just making sure.
Yeah, he's not gonna bring Heinrich. Besides, you know,
I hope you
Heinrich,
don't mind. My
God
horse is
forbid
gonna take a
Heinrich
poop.
like bite one of the elves and like
or
eat him or
poop
something.
in the court.
Look. I don't know how trained you keep your horses, but Heinrich, he is incredible, and I resent that
he poops on
insinuation.
command. Okay. Hey, listen,
He does
horses
it.
eat, horses poop.
They
Just saying, go to any
He's a
parade.
Come on, he's made out of magic.
Anyway,
the elves all stop to stare, and they seem as interested in you as Kip seems interested in everything around him. He's never seen something like this before. And you are led through a courtyard into a brilliant palace, and you're led up into a throne room. That it looks like the interior of the palace is what you would imagine the interior of a tree would be if there was a home in a tree. All the walls look as if it was white, ivory colored wood grain. And for all the world, it looks and feels as if you're living in a tree or walking in a tree. And when you get to the throne room, sorry.
We're getting tried.
yeah, we're being murdered.
No, you just, of course, covered in wood elves of very fancy and colorful robes, but no jewelry. Everything that's you would say is jewelry is some sort of leaf, like an oak headdress or something like that. And on the throne sits a very young, very beautiful wood elf who does not look to be more than a teenager. And when you arrive, the elf that guided you says, "May I present to you the queen of our lands, the lady of the woods, Leowyn." And with that, he bows on one knee, or gets on one knee and bows, and seems to motion for you guys like, "What are you doing?"
Tulmore's getting on his knee and bowing.
Yep,
He's
so
gonna
keen.
suck it up. He's gonna suck it up. This is, you know what? His ego isn't big enough for the world to explode because of this. So
Jarek will flick his hood down, and actually, DM, he's going to consult his extensive historical and cultural knowledge of how elven nobility seeks to be addressed in these situations. After all, he has extensive academic teaching, and as a position of royal interrogator, he might have had dealings with wood elves on occasion at some point in his life.
All right, give me a knowledge check. Do your intelligence plus which background you think would be most appropriate,
Okay.
and your level. Okay,
There you
then.
go.
Well, you know that according to Wood Elf culture, they are typically just addressed as my king or my queen. Depending on the king or queen themselves, they can either be sticklers for formality or be very informal with all but the coldest of relations. So it's kind of a crapshoot what this one is, but you do know that all of them are addressed as my king or my queen.
All right. Well, in that case, Jarek, which has got to be the most elegant he has ever been at any point during this entire campaign, will follow suit with what the elf who preceded them did with his manner of bowing. And,
Cole will do a standing but deep bow.
With that, well, as you guys do that, the queen will stand and she'll say, "Please, this is not the time for formalities." And then she'll see Lady Celine, and then she'll go over to her. And as she goes over to her, her eyes catch upon Finn. And for a moment, her face absolutely is one of shock. But she recovers very quickly into a very cool and serene face and continues over to Lady Celine and says, I had hoped that the reports weren't true. Please know that we will do everything we can to take care of her. She is in good hands here. If you could, please. And she leads back to the throne and sits back down. Tell me all that transpired to this point. What happened?
My queen, Jarek will actually begin, and perhaps one of the few instances in which he has ever wished to speak at any point over the course of this entire campaign.
Cullimore is flabbergasted.
The short of the situation is that demons have opened rifts to invade this realm.
She nods with no look other than the cool, serene look, and nods for you to continue.
We first came upon the scene, and Jarek, evaluates the situation, figures honesty is the best policy. This creature might be thousands of fucking years old. He's not willing to lie to the situation.
Actually, no, you'll know that it's common knowledge. She's 16.
What?
She's 16.
What?
The queen is 16 years old. This is okay. This is common knowledge for especially for you. Not everyone would know this, but she is a very young queen. It's one of the problems with the Wood Elves since they just got their government back, so to speak, from the High Elves. They're on very precious footing diplomatically because not only are they still trying to get their house in order, but their queen is very young.
The Atlantis Forest has been an uproar for the past few years. I remember that from the background history.
And their queen, who is the daughter of the former king and queen, is only 16. You do know that from all reports, she is intelligent, she rules well, but she is often not taken seriously by the other leaders of the other nations because of her age.
Jarek will begin to maybe I have to be completely honest with her and go, wait, she has no idea how to rule a kingdom. I got this. Jarek.
I got this. Bitch.
Jarek says, it is impossible to tell how or why they have chosen our realm, only that we know through one of the demon's emissaries, one who addressed himself as the Game Master, has plotted and done this to many other realms throughout his long course of history, including, according to the guidance we received from Aishir, the goddess of life, the realm through which elves retreated to come here 2,500 years or so ago.
With that, everyone in the room starts murmuring. And the murmurs actually start to rise angrily as you hear shouts of, the heresy! And the queen raises her hands up and quiets everyone down, and then she looks at you and says, it is a bold accusation to suggest to know the origin of the elves, but now is not the time to debate such matters. What matters more is the present.
The demons were incredibly prepared and easily overran Whitebridge before the rifts had even opened through intricate and masterful subterfuge that sent the entire capital city ablaze. You have personally seen the condition of Lady Celine. We were under her employ to assist in easing trouble and restoring order whenever the rifts opened. We barely managed to escape with the ragtag band, as it were, and Lady Celine intact, after a powerful fight with, I am a little rusty on my demon lore, but it was a behemoth who wielded a mighty flaming whip.
She nods as you tell your story, and when you say that you were in her employ and were to help protect the city, her eyes actually flick to Finn for a second before going back to you, and just for a second, and then she says, I see.
Thus has been one of the reasons for our retreat here, for the magic and powers of the Wood Elves are well known, and if anyone could better restore the integrity of Lady Celine's being, I do not know of them.
She nods and she says, you were probably right to run here. The way the world is at the moment, you might not have found a warm welcome in any of the other kingdoms. The dwarves might have accepted you, but the distance you would have had to travel would have been very hard on your people.
We had particular concern regarding the travel of west, for in our dealings as we sifted through these demons before the rifts open, for we had no idea how great the subterfuge was and what grand designs that were in place. Among those things was irrevocable proof, and Jarek still has that fucking message box.
Oh, wow.
That
Yeah.
Jarek, there's irrevocable proof that the Lich King has personally sided with these demons who have invaded. That is one of the reasons for my primary concern.
With that, you hear another audible gasp, but one more of shock in the room.
And Jarek will like mage hand up because he's he's fucking full of flourish, like the box like in front of him.
And open it so that you open it so everyone can hear the message.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Which, might be a little condemning for, like, everyone who's not him, but that's perfectly okay, man.
Well, it doesn't technically give anything away because
Absolutely.
yeah, it talked about the champions and whatnot, but it didn't actually say who any of them were. So after listening to the message, of course, the room breaks into murmurs, and the queen holds up a hand again and says, "I assume this is the game master you told me about. What has become of him? Is he with the other demons?"
As far as we are aware, the game master is slain by our own hands.
She nods. "We have heard no reports from any of the towns of Whitebridge. Is it safe to assume that they were attacked as well?"
We do not know their current condition. However, if the subterfuge and planning was so vast as to cut Whitebridge off at its knees, then I think the same can be said for all other settlements of the Freelands.
She nods and she says, "This is grave news indeed. We have to act carefully, but know that as far as the Wood Elves are, you have our protection and our shelter and our aid." And you hear when she says that, you have several Wood Elves that go, "My queen, if I may a moment," and she kind of viciously cuts them off by repeating again, "You have our aid. The Wood Elves will stand with Lady Selene and the Freelands in any way that will be best able to. But there are other matters that must be discussed. However, this is not the place nor the time. Lady Selene will be well cared for, and if you all would join me for some refreshment, I would be honored."
Hmm.
And again,
Jarek.
her eyes kind of flick to Finn.
Jarek, like, rotates his head and, like, looks back at the others with, like, that eye speak again.
Tullamore will nod in agreement.
Oh, sounds like a good idea.
Kip nods.
Worms?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Cole will oddly bluntly go, name, place, and time.
With that, the queen starts to walk down from the throne, and one of her advisors goes, "My queen, if I may," and she very coldly says, "No, you may not. I'm going to go entertain my guests now." And then she walks and motions for all of you to follow.
We have a new meal ticket. Da, 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 da.
Jarek's not gonna fucking disagree. Looks like these
and
people
assassinates
are
her.
pretty touchy about the origins, and Jarek might have to kill half of them. So let's
Are
go
we
ahead and
taking
follow
Sleeping
that.
Beauty with us?
Yes, Lady Selene is... No, actually, Lady Selene's being taken to the palace infirmary.
Yeah.
And that's why we're following our new meal ticket, right? Piff?
Okay.
Actually,
God.
and actually, Jarek, you would know this with your the role that you got. All the elves, well, maybe not so much the drow anymore, because no one knows much about the drow anymore, but especially the high elves and the wood elves, excuse me, all like to claim that they were the original elf and
Okay.
it's very hotly contested. Who was the original? Because the old theory or the old stories, of course, was that they were all one race that split into three, and everyone likes to think they were the original race, which you guys know is not quite the case. But yes, anytime someone brings up how the elves may have gotten anywhere, it's not a fun topic.
Sweet Jarek stepped into an age-old argument. I love it.
Yeah, you did.
Smooth move.
Well, if only Jarek cared.
Which is gonna make it fun when Sky shows up.
If she shows up.
I will file that under the cabinet of not my problem.
Agreed.
So, you are all led by the queen out of the throne room into a still fairly big and very lavish sitting room, where you are all kind of ushered in behind her, and she tells you to take your seats, and then she closes the door, and I really wish Kriana was here for this, but unceremoniously, the second the door is closed, she flings her arms around Finn and hugs her very tightly and says, "Finn, it's been so long."
I don't mean to interrupt this at all, but if this is very integral to Finn's character, as disappointing as it might be good just to kind of call it here and then let her actually interact with this. You know
I
what
was
mean?
actually exactly going to say the same thing. I was going to say, Finn, it's been so long, and then I was going to say, and with that, perhaps we should call it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I spoiled everything as being a big stupid know-it-all. My bad.
No, it just means we were on the same page.
I don't think that's a good idea so much as completely obviating the whole discussion. Maybe that's not something that happens with everyone standing in front of.
Oh, so you mean keep the discussion private and now
Yeah.
you can continue?
Well,
Yeah.
what we could do this is that would still happen, but we could just say we must talk later type of thing. And then, so we'll do it this way. She embraces Finn and then says, "We must talk later," and then kind of straightens her skirts and says, back to business. We can do it that way.
Yeah. There's no need to completely derail the entire session. It's not as if the knowledge contained within Kriana and this one NPC are so integral that the interaction must take place right now, right?
It might. She might know. She might have Miko. Just
In that case, the
underneath her.
game is flawed.
No.
The
It's
game is flawed.
It's not quite that important. So yeah, we can do it that way. So after that, you all sit down and she walks over to the Kip for the first time and says, "I have not seen one of your kind before. It's an honor to meet you." And Kip says, "Oh, it's an honor to meet you too." And one of the serving attendants in the room kind of chokes at the informal greeting the Black Dragon gave. And she was... here's a question. Who here's taking refreshment?
I will.
What kind of refreshment?
Wine. Elven wine.
Oh,
I've
okay,
never
well.
drank elven wine before, so sure.
Jarek? Cole?
Jarek will politely decline. He does not know what poisons will be in use at this court. Although they probably won't affect him, who can say?
Cole?
He will not, and he'll leave it at that unless questioned.
Okay. Then the serving attendant was pouring wine for Keen, and she choked and spilt a little bit on Keen's lap at the very informal greeting that the dragon gave. And then she says, "I am so sorry," and then she leaves very quickly. So